In today's video, I'll explain how gaining the Prescience Shinjutsu ability has made Kashin Koji irreplaceable. Kashin Koji has put himself in a position where key characters in Boruto depend on him because of his Prescience Shinjutsu ability. This ability allows him to see all possible futures. It works on the idea that the future isn't one fixed path, but a complex web of choices and outcomes. Every decision or action creates a new branch in this web, leading to different results. Kashin Koji can observe these branches and figure out the best path to achieve his goals or influence events in his favor. Because of his ability to see all the possible futures, he had put himself in a position where Boruto has to rely on him for information that would help with his Shadow Hokage responsibilities and missions. Since Boruto is on the run due to the omnipotence, altering everyone's memories except Sarada, Sumire, Eida, Daemon, and the Otsutsuki to believe that he is an enemy, Boruto relies on Kashin Koji's Prescience Shinjutsu ability to prevent him from ending up being cornered where his life is in danger, which Boruto finds helpful. Boruto carries one of Kashin Koji's toads and hides it in his cape so he could speak with Kashin Koji at all times, who could notify him of potential danger. Not only that, Kashin Koji knew that Boruto will do anything and everything to protect his planet, fellow shinobi, and the people he loves and cares about. So he decided to share the information he knows about the very possible future that was possible to Boruto and his planet. He told Boruto ahead of time that the Ten Tails will break free from Code's control and evolve in a new way where they will likely show up before them as multiple Divine Tree people who possess individual minds. At that time, he advised Boruto that it would be ideal to dispose of the Ten Tails root and branch before that possible future became reality, but informed Boruto that the likelihood that they will succeed is low. In nearly all the possible futures Kashin Koji saw, there were Divine Tree people, and the most dangerous among them was their leader, Jura, who would kill Boruto, which was not an absolute thing, but many futures show it happening. And what follows is pretty similar. Kawaki, who's an Otsutsuki, gets devoured by the Divine Trees to evolve into a final form, where the planet dies as a result of chakra being drained of all living things. Kashin Koji told Boruto that this must not come to pass because they couldn't let this worst case become reality. And as Kashin Koji mentioned, the infinite possible futures. And through Boruto learning about this worst possible future, their future had already started to change, one tick at a time. To help Boruto get ready, Kashin Koji used his Prescience Shinjutsu to build on the skills Sasuke had already taught him. By looking into the future, Kashin Koji saw the moves and jutsu that Boruto will one day master and shared this information with the present Boruto. This helped speed up Boruto's learning and made his training much more effective. While the manga hasn't shown all the techniques Kashin Koji taught Boruto, we do know he passed on the Flying Raijin. Using his Prescience ability, Kashin Koji gave Boruto knowledge and theories in just minutes that would have taken him years to figure out on his own. However, Kashin Koji also told Boruto that knowing wasn't enough. To truly master the Flying Raijin, Boruto needed to study and practice a lot, which he did. During the time skip, Boruto became incredibly strong. In his base form, he's powerful enough to defeat Code, Kawaki, Jigen, Prime Naruto, Prime Sasuke, and all the characters from Naruto Shippuden, even the Divine Trees except for Jura, with ease. This makes Boruto the strongest shinobi. Despite this, Boruto couldn't stop the Ten Tails from escaping Code's control and evolving into Divine Tree people. This even confirmed that Kashin Koji was right about the worst possible future, as the Divine Tree people became a real threat. Now Boruto must depend on Kashin Koji's knowledge to defeat them. For Boruto's Flying Raijin to work over long distances, Kashin Koji's toads were placed in various locations, each carrying a metal object marked with Boruto's chakra and a unique symbol or shape. The toads will describe the shape to Boruto, allowing him to visualize it and teleport accurately to distant places. Additionally, because the Divine Tree people exist, Kashin Koji looked into the future and told Boruto how he can save Sasuke, who had been devoured by the Ten Tails and turned into a tree. Kashin Koji explained to Boruto how the Divine Trees came into being. Each Divine Tree person represents the chakra of someone who was devoured by the Ten Tails and transformed into a tree. For instance, Boruto's master Sasuke became the base model for Hidari, Muegi for Mitsuri, Shinki for Ryu, and Bak for Mamashu. However, Jura is unique because he doesn't have a prototype. Unlike the others, Juro is a direct incarnation of the Ten Tails and is leading the current crisis they now face. After explaining this to Boruto, Kashin Koji also revealed the personal targets of each Divine Tree person, making it easy for Boruto to protect those he loves and cares about. To summarize, Kashin Koji uses his Prescience Shinjutsu to make Boruto dependent on him for survival and success. By sharing vital information about threats like the Divine Trees and offering strategies to fight them, Kashin Koji ensures that Boruto sees him as essential. The system of communication through toads strengthens this dependency, as Boruto relies on Kashin Koji's foresight to stay safe and protect his loved ones. Kashin Koji's ability to see multiple futures keep Boruto aware of potential dangers, but without revealing everything. This approach creates urgency and uncertainty, forcing Boruto to trust Kashin Koji to navigate the unknown. By taking advantage of Boruto's vulnerable state, being hunted and misunderstood by the world, Kashin Koji establishes a partnership. He offers tools and knowledge that Boruto cannot obtain on his own, making him an irreplaceable ally. Kashin Koji's Prescience ability is powerful, but has a major weakness. It can only show possible futures, not one definite outcome. This means that while he can see many potential scenarios, he doesn't know for certain which one will happen. To find out which future is becoming reality, he must watch actual events as they unfold and compare them to the possibilities he saw. This creates uncertainty, as Kashin Koji cannot act with full confidence until he sees how events play out. He can predict what might happen, but cannot be certain until it happens. So he's always in a position of observation and analysis. This weakness makes him vulnerable, as it can delay his actions. Because he must compare the possible outcomes with what actually took place, he can only react to events rather than acting proactively with complete knowledge. To reduce the weakness of his Prescience Shinjutsu ability, Kashin Koji teamed up with Eida. This happened after Eida saw a conversation between Kashin Koji and Boruto through her Senrigan eye. In this conversation, Kashin Koji told Boruto that once someone knows about the future, they can no longer act in the same way as before. The future becomes more complex and branches in unpredictable ways, making it harder to predict. In fact, the more someone knows, the more they stray from the natural course of fate, becoming a singularity, a unique existence that destabilizes the future. Kashin Koji concluded that it is better for most people not to know anything, so that things can proceed towards a better future. He explained that those who become singularities of fate, like himself, Boruto and Eida, have the responsibility to help guide the future from the shadows. After revealing this, Kashin Koji told Boruto that both he and Eida had become the singularities of fate, that Eida will eventually see their conversation. Eida, understanding this, chose to team up with Kashin Koji. To help with this partnership, Kashin Koji gave Eida one of his toads, which she keeps hidden in her hair. This allows Eida to communicate with him at any time. This partnership is extremely beneficial for Kashin Koji because Eida has the Senrigan eye, which allows her to perceive all events in the present, no matter where or when they happen, and also events that have happened in the past, all the way to the time of her birth. With this ability, Kashin Koji no longer needs to spend time analyzing which possible future became reality. He can simply ask Eida to use her Senrigan to tell him what is happening in both the present and the past. For example, in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 17, Kashin Koji asked Eida to use her Senrigan to find out what was happening in the sand. Eida reported that things were going as planned, or at least Konohamaru, Sarada and Mitsuki had managed to separate Ryu and Mitsuri. Kashin Koji then passed this information on to Boruto. When Boruto asked what would happen next, Kashin Koji informed him that Konohamaru was keeping Mitsuri occupied, and ideally Sarada and the others would take down Ryu first and then meet up with Konohamaru to defeat Mitsuri together. Kashin Koji was clever in how he dealt with the weaknesses of his Prescience Shinjutsu by forming a partnership with Eida. He doesn't overestimate his abilities or insights. Instead, he recognizes the limits of his presence, especially its inability to give him certainty. By understanding how Eida's abilities complement his own, Kashin Koji forms an alliance with her. Rather than trying to compete with her, he presents her as a key ally, while indirectly positioning himself as the one leading the partnership and maintaining control. Kashin Koji realizes that depending only on his own powers limits his options. By working with Eida, he connects to a wider network of information and influence. Instead of relying solely on his presence, he taps into her abilities, which give him real-time data, saving him from having to analyze everything himself. This partnership allows him to be more proactive, overcoming the limitations of his foresight. Kashin Koji positions himself strategically in the partnership by appealing to Eida's sense of importance and her role in shaping fate. He makes her feel that she has a vital role to play, elevating her above others and giving her a greater sense of purpose. This increases her likelihood of joining him, as she sees her actions as crucial in determining the outcome towards the better future. Kashin Koji also appeals to Eida's psychological motivations by presenting the alliance as a way for both of them to influence fate. He frames himself as someone who understands destiny's complex nature and invites her to help shape the future. Kashin Koji reassures Eida by emphasizing her critical role and offering her a platform to make an impact, thus forming an emotional connection and encouraging her willingness to work with him. By combining these strategies, Kashin Koji not only reduces the weakness of his presence ability, but also gains a strong ally in Eida, allowing him to stay ahead in the game. Kashin Koji managed to become allies with Shikamaru, the Hokage of Konoha, and made him rely on him for important information. This happened after Boruto was arrested. Konohamaru asked Boruto how he knew so much about the Divine Tree, and Boruto said he had a source but could not reveal their identity because the source wanted to stay safe. After helping Boruto escape, Shikamaru began to figure out who Boruto's source was. Shikamaru went to Eida to confirm his suspicions. He told her that Boruto had a mysterious ally and asked if she had seen this person. Shikamaru explained that this ally had used a toad to inform him that Boruto was in Konoha. This happened when Boruto came to save Himawari and Sarada from being devoured by Jura and Hidari. Shikamaru recognized the toad and asked Eida if it was Kashin Koji's. Kashin Koji confirmed that Shikamaru was right by speaking through his toad hidden in Eida's hair, saying he was as sharp as ever. At that moment, Kashin Koji's toad, which had been hidden in Eida's hair, appeared and told Shikamaru to listen carefully. Kashin Koji, speaking through the toad, said that he will share the main points but asked Shikamaru not to ask questions. He advised Shikamaru to send Konohamaru, Mitsuki and Sarada to the Land of Wind to team up with the two Sen shinobi. Together they were to defeat Ryu and Mitsuri, whether they appeared together or separately. Kashin Koji also told Shikamaru to keep Himawari inside Konoha because Jura had eyes on her. If she left the village, Jura might notice and it would lead to her death. He explained that Jura respected Konoha's cultural value and would not attack inside the village unless absolutely necessary. As long as Himawari stayed within the village, she would be safe. Additionally, Kashin Koji advised Shikamaru to treat Jura as an ordinary customer if he visited places like the bookshop. He warned Shikamaru not to provoke Jura because they had no chance of winning if Jura got angry. Kashin Koji also suggested that if Jura appeared while Konohamaru and the others were fighting, they should retreat immediately. Shikamaru trusted Kashin Koji because he had been helping Boruto protect Konoha. Kashin Koji's information was crucial, especially as most people believed Boruto was an enemy due to the omnipotence ability altering their memories. Shikamaru's own investigation confirmed that Boruto was Naruto's true son, so he had no choice but to rely on Kashin Koji. In Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 17, it was shown that Shikamaru agreed to let one of Kashin Koji's toads hide in his Hokage cape for communication. The details Shikamaru gave Konohamaru about the Thornsoul bulbs and Mitsuri's feelings for Konohamaru clearly came from Kashin Koji. This helped Shikamaru create a smart plan to defeat Ryu and Mitsuri. One of Jura's warnings to Shikamaru came true. Jura did visit a bookshop in Konoha to buy books. When the sensory unit alerted Shikamaru about an intruder whose chakra matched Jura's and said he was currently in a bookshop in Sector C, Shikamaru followed Kashin Koji's advice. He told the sensory unit to ignore Jura and not to interfere with him. Shikamaru also instructed them not to evacuate any civilians and made it clear that no one should engage with Jura. Just as Kashin Koji predicted, Jura didn't cause any trouble. Jura paid for the books with cash and even told the shop owner to keep the change as an advance payment for future purchases. After buying the books, Jura left peacefully without causing any issues in Konoha. Here's an interpretation of how Kashin Koji made Shikamaru dependent on him. Kashin Koji became a valuable ally by giving critical and exclusive information. He helped protect Konoha by warning about threats like Jura and providing strategies to defeat Ryu and Mitsuri. Shikamaru had no choice but to rely on Kashin Koji because only he could give such detailed and timely intelligence. This shows how dependency can create power and loyalty. By being the only source of this critical information, Kashin Koji made sure Shikamaru couldn't make strategic decisions without him. This is why Shikamaru agreed to let one of Kashin Koji's toads hide in his Hokage cape so they could communicate when necessary. Kashin Koji built trust by proving his actions were for Konoha's safety. He appealed to Shikamaru's logical side by giving him good reasons for his advice, like keeping Himawari inside the village and being cautious with Jura. By understanding Shikamaru's concerns for Konoha's well-being, Kashin Koji positioned himself as a trusted ally with the same goals. Kashin Koji's correct prediction about Jura visiting the bookshop strengthened Shikamaru's trust in him. It showed that Kashin Koji understood Jura's behavior well. His accurate foresight reassured Shikamaru that his advice could be trusted. By predicting Jura's peaceful visit, Kashin Koji proved that following his guidance could avoid unnecessary conflict. This made Shikamaru even more reliant on Kashin Koji's insights when dealing with threats. This event also showed that Kashin Koji could predict outcomes and provide solutions without causing trouble, which improved his credibility as a trusted ally. In conclusion, Kashin Koji uses his Prescience Shinjutsu ability, which lets him see all possible futures, to make himself essential to allies like Boruto and Shikamaru. By sharing only some of what he knows, he ensures they depend on his advice. He builds strong alliances, such as teaming up with Eida, whose Senragan eye enhances his foresight. Kashin Koji helps Boruto grow by teaching him vital future techniques and prepares him to face threats like Jura and the Divine Tree people, taking on the role of a mentor. His strength comes from mixing strategy, partnerships, and foresight, letting him guide outcomes and support others while staying crucial in solving big challenges.